Null here. Now, I have a whole lot of things to film and not a lot of time to film them, so you're going to get pretty cruddy quality again. One of these days that might change. But this week saw the end of Thrillerathon. Now, I think I heard about this readathon through Brian at Brian's Bookshelves, and I will link him below. He's fantastic. He's a British YouTuber who really likes crimes and mysteries and also does theater, which is always fun. And for this challenge, the first prompt was to read the oldest thriller you have on your shelf. And for me, it wasn't on my shelves, but I read Six Creepy Tales, which is a collection of Edgar Allan Poe stories. I really enjoy about half and half of what I've read of Poe, and I just want to keep continuing that until I kind of decide which side of the fence I'm on. So it was a mixed bag, but it was enjoyable. The next prompt was to read an author you've read before, and I have just not gotten around to reading Holly Black's Stallbones yet. There are a couple of hers I haven't gotten to, and that was one of them. And so I figured, hey, it was available, why not? Perfect opportunity. I enjoyed that. I don't think it is the best creepy or coming of age story that I have experienced, but there were certain aspects of the book I really connected with. I can very vividly remember the moment that I kind of lost my belief and knowing that, crud, people actually have to grow up and have to, stop liking things, and what is this craziness? And so that resonated with me. The next prompt was to read a thriller or something along those lines that is a trope that you love. And for this, I read the first volume of Pet Shop of Horrors, which is a manga that's usually looked over because it does have some baiting-ish themes behind, but it is really a collection of short stories um, about this man who runs a pet shop that sells pets with very strict rules to people. These pets are not normal, and when people break these rules, bad things happen, which brings in a detective who sees this connection but can't prove anything, and it's a great source of frustration. They're really creepy and usually delve into the darkest parts of human conditions because it's a variety of things. And how we just can't play by the rules. So many lives lost. Darn you. The next prompt was to read your most anticipated thriller, and this hands down was not even a question. And that was Karimura, which is by Thomas Harris, who is most famous for the Hannibal Lecter books. Now, I absolutely love Hannibal Lecter. I do not have nearly the problems that a lot of people do with Hannibal, the sequel, not the character. Well, the character too. But I do not think that Thomas is the most he's not the most crafty author in the world. And so I was kind of nervous to see what I would think of this. And I will say that while he is by no means the master of prose, I did really enjoy this and it was well worth the wait. I am so happy that I finally got around to this. So thank you, Readathon, for giving me that kick in the butt. The next prompt was to read the newest thriller on your shelf, and for this, I happened to have a coworker back for the summer from college, and she is a writer, and so I went, hey, you read crime and horror, give me a recommendation. And boom, she came out with one of hers, and what she gave me was, oh gosh, I'm blanking on the author's name, but the first book in the series, and it is a very long series now, was called Postmortem, and it follows a female coroner and how she is kind of dragged into these mysteries in the police department. And the author really, I didn't know this about this, the coworker shared it with me. She does have experience as being part of the system, and it really shows because you can tell when someone has done research and when someone has lived something, because when you live something, explaining and presenting a topic does just come more naturally. It's not to say you can't do things just through research, but it does make a difference. And I really enjoyed it. I think this is a much better recommendation than my next fill, which was a new to me author. Now, last year I discovered this lovely old woman is a murder mystery detective, gritty crime thriller fan, and it's just adorable. But she came in one day, and bless her heart, she handed me a book by one of her favorite authors, Robert Parker. And I didn't get around to it at first because it was like number 29 in a series, and I like starting the series from the beginning. And I knew I wasn't going to get there, but this again provided opportunity. My library had it in audio form, so it was perfect timing. Unfortunately, I am glad I haven't seen this woman since because I didn't like it. I thought I don't frequently write reviews on Goodreads, and I was going to do just a quick pro con thing, and it ended up being this rant. It wasn't bad for what it was. It was, your quick detective read. Um, but there's just the main character drove me up the wall, and just there was so much bravado in it that I probably won't be continuing, and I hope she never asks if I read this one. The next prompt was to read your shortest, and for this, I had a much better time, and I read James Moriarty, Criminal Consultant, which is basically a Sherlock Holmes story, except for told about his arch nemesis by an individual this historic criminal has worked with a few times, and being his Watson, and it was a lot of fun. You don't dig your tails in too deep, but it was a good time. And the last book was a slight victim of, oh, of course I'm available. Oh, wait, you wanted to read this now? Oh, sorry, you need to wait another month, which happens to me frequently with my services. So the prompt actually was to read a book with the creepiest cover, and unfortunately that cover was suddenly unavailable. So I just went through Scrib's audiobooks that were still available, looked for the creepiest thing, and unfortunately the title should have told me more than the image because it wasn't even fractionally as creepy as I'd hope it would be. But it was queer ghost stories, which I swear had nothing to do with picking with me trying to read a lot of LGBT universe books, because it has like this disembodied face, which when I get to editing, hopefully later after this is posted, I will repost this. Um, is just like this disembodied face in these trees, and I was just like, okay, we good. I don't really want to read you, but we will. Unfortunately, while it was cute, it was sweet, kind of campfire-ish stories. It just no spine tingles. Meh. But overall, it was a nice little readathon. I enjoyed it, and I look forward to going to more creepy stuff, as you will soon see. Thank you for joining me. Toodles!